Hi, this is Preston Scott with the Florida Chamber of Commerce's Free Enterprise segment. Today, visiting with the chair of Visit Florida, the board of directors, and she happens to be director of national and group sales for Universal Orlando Resort, Tammy Gustafson. And Tammy, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Preston, and thank you for having me this morning.
Absolutely. You know, when you talk about the Florida Chamber, obviously the relationship with Visit Florida is very important. I want to get to that. But let's just back up and kind of take a macro view of Florida's economy for just a second. I think most people would know intuitively that tourism plays a huge role. A lot of people look at tourism, agriculture, and construction as kind of your baseline, foundational parts of Florida's economy. Talk about the tourism end of things. How is tourism back in Florida compared to the pre-recession years?
Well, we certainly have some great momentum, and through the partnership of the Florida Chamber, we're able to provide these great tourism metrics on a dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
The Sunshine State averages about 1.6 million visitors each day. That's more people that live in 12 U.S. states plus the District of Columbia. And in total, Florida welcomed a record 91.4 million visitors last year. The state's tourism industry marked several other milestones as well. Last year, Florida surpassed the 10 million mark in overseas visitors for the first time, with 10.2 million travelers from 184 countries. And in 2012, we also had a record year for visitor spending, almost $72 billion, which generated 23% of the state's sales tax revenue.
Tammy, I think a lot of people are surprised hearing those numbers because, well, I mean, candidly speaking, globally there's economic stress. In our nation, there's economic stress. What accounts for the uptick in tourism?
Well, I really would like to say that it's a great part of what Visit Florida's marketing is doing. They're doing a great job, and as you probably know, they were given another $9 million to market the state this year. And through, some of the statistics are 39% of people that are visiting that website are significantly influenced by Visit Florida's marketing. And, they're delivering the numbers. They're on a record pace. The announcement that just came out mid-August here that almost 24 million visitors came to Florida in the second quarter of 2013, which is an increase of almost 3% over the same period in 2012. So we're really on a great pace, and I just hope we can keep this momentum because really the goal is to get to that 100 million mark. We want to deliver, and as chair of Visit Florida, one of my big goals is to deliver that 100 million visitor number this year.
As someone who makes their living in the tourism industry and now as chair of the board of directors for Visit Florida, are there things that we've learned in the last few years that might be able to help us better insulate the tourism industry should we see, an up and down economy as we've seen over the last few years?
Well, certainly by continuing to invest, in our marketing. I particularly think overseas is a great investment. We've put together this Air Team Florida recently to engage airlines in expanding, particularly with international flights.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be more and more important because, as you know, the international guests that come to Florida, they're staying longer, they're spending more. Those are the visitors that we need to, continue this momentum.
When you talk about the partnership with the aviation industry, maybe expand on that a little bit. When the term increase airlift into Florida is used, is that strictly, are we talking bodies here?
Well, we're talking actual flights. Just this past June, Governor Scott went over with a contingency of tourism executives and met with several of the large international carriers. And, just a quick stat on this, acquiring one new major flight arriving 4 times per week from a core European market is estimated to have an economic impact over $800,000 per week.
Good grief.
it's a big number, and that's to the local and the state economy.
So how does this play out then when folks go to the chamber website, they look at the Florida Scorecard, they see the tourism tab. What are they going to find there?
Well, they're going to find some great numbers. The return on investment to the Visit Florida marketing is fantastic right now. They're going to see stats from partners like Tax Watch. They're going to see tourism indicators that represent both domestic and international. They're going to see things like how the employment is doing well in the tourism sector, hotel occupancy rates, and like I said, both visitation estimates for domestic and international.
For those that are members of the chamber that want to learn a little bit more about how they might kind of impact Visit Florida, get involved a little bit more, what are some things they need to know?
Well, certainly visit the Visit Florida website. And there are terrific opportunities within the board structure and the committee structure of Visit Florida. It really is a industry-led organization, and we really pride ourselves on the input that's provided by the industry, and the committee is just one way to get involved.
Tammy, thanks for the time. We appreciate the visit.
Thank you, Preston. It's my pleasure.